you lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm sorry, I've been to thinking about it. I won't look at the bony top. All right, yeah. Call roll, please.
Mary Bradley,
Here.
Carla Hodfelter,
Here.
Patty Nyworth,
Here.
Kelly Edwards, Kent Jester,
Here.
Colonel King.
All right, do we have any special guests today, Dr. Thomas?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, and we've got our architect or construction manager. All right.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Corey Miller with Architects in Partnership. And on the Lawton High School windows, I'm glad to announce that one's done and closed. We submitted the final pay up on the 21st for that one. Let's see here. On the furnishings project for Eisenhower Middle School, the district has issued a PO to KI for bid package 1, 2, and package 1's alternate number 1. And AIP went ahead and sent the product information for the 6 specialty chairs and changing table at the special ed rooms to the SIP committee, so those could be ordered directly. The warehouse freezer project, we opened bids for the second time on the 30th. We did save some money, so things are looking better. And we're recommending that we accept the bid from Cavens Construction Group and then the equipment proposal from Amundsen Commercial Kitchens. So the construction contract bid was for $563,000. The equipment price was $225,975 for a total of $788,975. So saved about $150,000 over the last time we bid it on that one. The equipment is going to take 12 weeks to be on site. I've been talking to the contractor about when he needs to start, and he's asking that we go ahead and issue a contract, but then delay the notice to proceed by about 6 weeks so that he doesn't start too early and have to wait on the equipment. He's starting about the time that the equipment is going to come when he needs it. The Macarthur fire alarm project, that one's just about ready to close out. Went over to the school today, checked off the last punch list item. They've got all their paperwork in, so there's a couple items on the agenda tonight that will kind of set it in motion, closing that one out. Change order 1 returns the unused contingency to the district. The substantial completion form's on there tonight that sets the date for warranties and all that, and then we'll be ready to close it out. The Macarthur High School auditorium, gym, and admin HVAC, we opened bids on the 22nd for that. We're recommending that the base bid for the auditorium area and alternate 1 for the admin area be accepted. The low bidder was RCJ Construction. There was an alternate for replacing lighting in the admin area, but there was some confusion with the contractor on that, and we recommend just rejecting that alternate. Give us the chance to work that price out as a change order, and we'll marry it up with the initial contract at the next board meeting so that can be executed right off the bat. There's no delay in ordering materials for that.
I'm going to ask a question before we go further. I know there's quite a bit of discrepancy in the 2 different bids. Are we concerned about that in any way?
No, the low bid contractor's confident in his price, and he's confused of why the other one was so high. We've given him plenty of chance to back out if he didn't think he could finish the work for that.
Okay.
So
You don't think he's missed anything, right?
No.
All right.
The other area that we looked at was the gym. We recommend rejecting that bid package and rebidding it for work after spring break, taking out all the occupancy restrictions that we had. We kind of had it worded where they had to work around the basketball gym schedule, and basically they were having to clean up every single day and added a lot of costs. So we'll remove that restriction, save some money there. We'll also take a look at any other cost savings in the design in the meantime with the contractor who's doing mechanical as part of this contract, and see if we can find anything else that'll save money. One of the things that's come up is the existing air handler units we may leave those in place instead of taking them off the ceiling. There's some asbestos at the fitting, and so if they don't have to touch that, they don't have to close the whole gym down and do asbestos abatement. Probably save a lot there too. Are there any questions that came out of the Bond Oversight Committee meeting on that one? Do we still want to recommend the base bid and alternate one for the admin area for Macarthur? Okay. All right. The Central Middle School cooling tower, we met on that today and reviewed the 65% drawings. We feel comfortable about the budget for that of $500,000. And we've got plans to bid that or advertise that for bid on November 14th for a bid opening of December 5th. And with that, we may need a special board meeting, but as long as we can get a contract out by the first of the year, we're looking at early March for construction to be completed is what we expect. All right. Any questions for me?
Sounds good.
All right.
Anything else come out of the oversight?
I've got a report on that
Okay.
a little bit.
All right.
One of the things to note on the chiller is we can run that in the winter to then cool off the field that we have overheated for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
So we can improve the efficiency of our ground source heat pump over time.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So eventually we hope to, switch that back over to the ground source for energy savings.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Good evening. All right, so the multiple safe rooms, we received one more certificate of occupancy. FEMA approved it. The only one we're waiting on now is Edison. So we should have that any day now. We're trying to waiting for FEMA to sign off on it, and then we'll give it to the city, sign it, and it'll be good from there. Whittier safe room, we're sitting about 70% complete. We are currently painting the exterior, mud tape texture on the inside. So next week we have ceilings going in, ceramic wall, floor tile, the HVAC unit itself, turning it on, turning power onto the building. So we're still on track for early December completion with the move-in during Christmas break, and then the moving of the 4 portables as well, get them in the final positions. So any questions on Whittier or multiples? EMS, sitting about 50 to 55% complete. Currently installing windows, got the brick veneer going up around the north side now. The stone is actually working from the southwest side, all the way around the building. So on the east side, the parking lot, we're starting that Monday. And then we'll have curb, gutter, by the end of the year we'll have parking lot done on the east side. So EFIS, all that's going to keep progressing counterclockwise around the building as we've done this entire time. So a lot of the guys are on the north side working, so we'll just keep transitioning around that way. So windows are going in, glass goes in starting tomorrow. I have to start putting actual permanent glass in place tomorrow. So we have temporary heaters showing up next week. So we'll heat and cool the building, because right now we're hanging all the sheetrock on the first floor in the classroom area in the far southeast corner. So, and then from there it will, next step in the progression, start doing some finishes. So we'll heat and cool the building. Still on track for our milestone plan as far as the classrooms for the 1st of April, the gyms, weight room, wrestling rooms around the 1st of May, and then the rest of the building, which would be like auditorium, admin, band, and the cafeteria for the 1st of June, with the building turnover the 1st of July. So, any questions?
Yep, looking good.
No? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Item 6 is departmental report. 6A, you have reports from both business operations and educational services. We have representatives here to answer any questions you may have about those reports. Okay. 6B is an informational item. Ms. Gableman will provide you information on our 2019 College Readiness and Remediation Report as identified through ACT testing.
Good evening. I have itch in my giddy up, so I apologize. You should have all received the Fall 2019 College Readiness and Remediation Report. It gives a quick snapshot of what we've done over the last 3 or 4 years. You have already been notified and told about the fact that we have fallen every year on our ACT. Last year, however, we did not. We stopped that fall. We actually showed growth. You have a chart in your handout that demonstrates that our district rose 0.4% in the state, which is the top growth in the state for ACT, while the state continued to fall. They started at 19.4 in 2016-17. They're now at 18.9. We grew 0.4. So while we still have a lot of work to do, we are steady with our teachers and our administrative teams. We're working with ACT Academy. We have lots of remediation in place in all 3 of the high schools to help bring our scores up even further. Also, as also mentioned in the report, we took the ACT online for the first time last year. And a lot of students that took the ACT, because I do a survey, as a BTC, I did it in my own building, but I did that at all 3 high schools. I asked the students about their assessments last year, and that was a problem. They were really not familiar with the ACT format. It was a lot different than measured progress. And those that had taken an ACT before that had always done it paper pencil, and we still grew, so that's a good thing. Did you have any questions for me?
What's the ACT Academy?
ACT Academy is an academy, a resource that ACT has put together. Open Ed is the foundation for that site. They've done it because so many states have gone to the ACT for assessment. So while you can buy some things on there, 90% of everything that's on there is free. And you can put the scores for your ACT scores, your pre-ACT scores in ACT Academy. Teachers can build classes for free. It does the RTI, and it also does the enrichment the moment you put your scores in. It's almost too easy to use. And parents have access to it so that you can do some summer remediation with your kids too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Item 7 is the Superintendent's Report. 7A is an action item to receive the Bond Oversight Committee report, and under separate cover you should have at your place the Bond Oversight Committee meeting report. One page looks like this. The Bond Oversight Committee met at 3 today till about 4:30, and what we went over was the balances in our bond and sales tax funds, the uses that we have done in the expenditures we've made in the last 6 months especially, but primarily back to for 10 years. We showed them that. And then we showed them the list of construction projects and potential allocation to bond funds that I showed you at the last meeting. The only recommendations they had were to consider Lawton High and Tomlinson gyms for air conditioners. Now, I had heard Tomlinson before. It hadn't made the list, but pending your approval, it will. And the Lawton High gym, that one just has never showed up on the radar, but it is not air conditioned, and the rest of them are. What I added to, and you have the packet of materials we provided to the Bond Oversight Committee. What has been added to that since you last saw it was a Pat Henry roof repair. And Don McCagg tells me we have another roof or 2 that need repair. So they will be added to the list, and then we'll get Corey working on Tomlinson and Lawton High gym air conditionings to give us an estimate of those costs, and we'll build those in. Also in that report, you'll see that we still have 4 annual payments of $3 million each on the 2014 bond, and we have 9 years left of income from the SIP, the 2017 bond. So we'll be working on allocating. March is our receipt of those funds for this year, so we'll be working on allocating those SIP funds as we move forward. But I would need a motion to approve receipt of the Bond Oversight Committee report.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
7B then would be the list of construction projects that I presented to you last time with the addition of those that we just talked about and allocation to certain funds. Now, each of these projects are large enough that they will come back individually to the board, but we would like your approval to proceed with those in the priority that we have presented them.
I so move.
Second. Call roll.
Who made the second?
Mary did.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Thank you. 7C, as you will remember, we have asked for a forensic audit of our copier contracts for the last several years after receiving a complaint about how we did business with those. We have concluded that. Workman Forensics of Tulsa has concluded that audit, and they provided us their report, which I have included with your information. There were 3 recommendations on that report. The first recommendation was that in order to best predict the actual cost to LPS when considering future contracts or comparing bids, is recommended that LPS track and retain monthly print volumes for each multifunction printer used in the district. We have done that. Dave started keeping a monthly count of each one of those back this summer. So we have that already in place. Recommendation 2, in order to accurately compare bids as well as provide historical reference for future LPS staff when making purchasing decisions, all contract should specify add-ons included with each piece of equipment and any other features or services that could cost additional money. Our response is that last summer, not this most past summer, but the summer before, you created policy CHCA on how we will do business for non-regulated purchases. And by that, those are those that are not specified in state law on how we will purchase. Significant purchases that aren't covered under state law. So when applying this policy, the district will request that potential vendors clearly specify each add-on to each piece of equipment with an associated cost of that add-on, if any. Vendors will also be asked to provide details on any other feature or service which could impact the cost of the contract. The third recommendation, once I get to change pages here. It's easier to look at it on paper sometimes. Recommendation 3, although monthly costs have not increased as a result of refinancing, LPS was renewing contracts early with no apparent benefits. Additionally, the refinancing was committing LPS to a longer contract. It is recommended that LPS avoid such early renewals in the future. Our response is that while LPS does feel there was a benefit by renewing early and that newer machines with additional features became available through the renewal, the district does recognize that without negotiation of the contract after implementation, extra costs were and would continue to have been incurred. In the future, any significant contract meeting the threshold as set in policy CHCA will be allowed to run the full term of the agreement unless circumstances arise which would cause the agreement to be terminated and a new agreement sought through the procedures specified in the policy. 3 recommendations, 3 responses, and we would ask for a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the report and approve the district responses to the report.
I so move.
Second. Call roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Okay, item 7D. You have a rather lengthy proposal from the city of Lawton for a tax increment financing district. That is the plan that was provided to us, and it's quite lengthy to read and quite technical. Essentially, what the city wants to do is on the West Side Industrial Park, starting with Republic, capture school and county health department and career tech incremental funds. Any growth that would happen because of the Republic project, the city wants to capture those funds and spend them on infrastructure improvements as well as an incentive to Republic. It also wants to capture the next projects, and they've identified as many as 12 sites, which would include Lawton Public Schools, in that the airport industrial land is included, and capture those funds until an amount of $30 million has been captured. At this point, none of the taxing entities, and there are 5 of them, agree with that plan. We have asked for changes to be made to that plan to share the revenue. Dan Batchelor, the lawyer for the city of Lawton TIF, is rewriting that plan, and we are awaiting the results of that. If brought to a vote under the current plan, I would vote no unless you direct me to vote otherwise.
Oh, no, I'm voting no.
We're waiting to see what the revised plan looks like before we make a commitment. At this point, I will not ask for a resolution either in support or opposing the plan.
So do we need to have any type of vote, or we just?
Only if you want me to vote yes on the current plan.
No.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Thomas, is this the committee that was formed recently that
Yes,
has
sir.
representatives from all the taxing
Yes, sir.
entities? Okay.
Yes, sir. I will say that the Republic TIF runs for 25 years.
Right.
And they want the plan to run for 10 years, which means it could be 10 years before the next project would be approved without reconvening a committee, which would take us to 2054. Yeah, I want you to think about that, 2054. None of us will be alive at that point. So they're asking us to give up money for up to 35 years. I cannot vote yes on that.
And just so I'll know, is that committee going to have final say?
No, sir. The committee can vote no, and the city can override that vote with a 2/3 vote by the city council. So we really are powerless, other than the power to negotiate a better deal.
And let them know what we think.
Now, and it's easy for the city council to look at that and go, this is a good deal, because Cash has benefited from the West Industrial Park for many years. What they don't take into account is the next project could be at the airport, and it would be Lawton Public Schools. It's always going to be Great Plains Technology Center, the county, and the county health department.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just bad deal.
With that, the announcements, good news to share. At the October 22nd City Council meeting, Mayor Booker honored 3 outstanding Lawton citizens who continuously go above and beyond the community every day as extra mile heroes. Macarthur High School teacher Kimberly Jones was one of these honorees. In addition to being active in the community service, Ms. Jones started the Attire to Aspire program in 2013 that provides school uniforms to students in need, and last year she was named an LPS champion for children. Ms. Jones continuously strives to do the best not only for her students but also fellow Lawtonians. Last Wednesday, Shoemaker Center was the site of the initial Lawton First Field Incident Response and Safety Team Planning meeting based on Fort Sill's mandatory Safe Eagles active shooter exercise with freedom. LPS Communications, along with the LPS Police Department, have taken the lead and entered into a partnership with Great Plains, Cameron, and local county first responders to plan and execute what will be a full-scale active shooter exercise this June.
Wow.
That will occur with no students in the building. We'll ask staff to volunteer to play the part of students. And with that, we move to the consent agenda.
All right. Does anybody have anything they'd like removed from the consent agenda?
8G1,
8G1.
it's the sanctioning deal.
All right. Anything else?
I'll move for the balance of the consent agenda.
Call roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Mr. Chester?
Yes. I make a motion that we approve 8G1.
Second. That call roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter,
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth,
Abstain?
Mr. Jester.
Yes.
All right, proposed executive session. Do we have a need for executive session?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
All right.
Move for executive session?
I'll second.
Call roll, please.
Ms. Bradley.
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter,
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth,
Yes.
Mr. Jester.
Yes.
Okay. That begins.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter? Ms.
Yes.
Nyworth?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
All right, minutes of the executive session. The Board of Education went into executive session at 5:25 p.m. Members present included Carla Clodfelter, President, Patty Nyworth, Vice President, Mary Bradley, and Kent Jester. Others present included Dr. Tom Thomas, Interim Superintendent, Dr. Ken Baden, Interim Chief Operating Officer, and Chuck Wade, LPS School Attorney. Items discussed included the employing, promoting, or receiving resignation of individual certified and support salary personnel as listed on the Certified and Support Personnel Report. Confidential communication between the Board of Education and its attorney concerning a pending claim, the Board having been advised by its attorney that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the Board to respond to any claim in public interest. Discussion of the employment of Elizabeth Brown Hill and possible resolution agreement. During the executive session, the Board discussed the items and no other items, and no action was taken. The Board returned to open session at 5:55 p.m. and this constitutes the minutes of the executive session. All right. Do we?
Personnel report.
Oh yeah, we need to approve the personnel report.
We would request approval of the certified and support personnel reports.
Move for approval. Second.
Call roll, please.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
In item 13B, we would ask for an approval of the resignation agreement with Elizabeth Brownhill.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Any new business?
I know of no new business that we need to take care of.
All right, the next regular board meeting date is Thursday, November 21st at 5 p.m. here at the Shoemaker Center Auditorium. A special board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 12th at noon, 12 p.m. for board members to review application for the superintendent's position. Do we have any need for any other board meeting dates?
No.
Any board announcements?
I'd like to invite everybody to the U.S. Army Jazz Ambassadors a week from Friday, the 15th at 7 at the auditorium, McMahon Auditorium. It's called The Greatest Generation, and it's all World War II and great music, slideshows, everything. It's quite the show.
And when is it?
It is a week from Friday, the 15th at 7.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
We do.
Second. Second.
Call a roll.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Thank you.
Easy.